Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Thursday, the 28th of June, comes to you from London. And the dollar climbed very sharply yesterday, much as we predicted. We said it would probably recover, and we've really seen that coming through. So back to that dollar strength, testing the high that we saw a week ago, and really looking on the daily chart, we're breaking that high. So dollar pushing higher again, still upside target of about 3%. There's another one of just 1.75%. So dollar strength returning. We might find some resistance on the longer term chart around the 97 level for the dollar index, but for the moment we're looking very strong indeed. And that, of course, translates to euro weakness against the dollar, and we're seeing the euro sinking lower. Downside targets here of 114 and 111. So euro looking weak there. And then the Japanese yen, we're seeing the dollar strengthening here as well. And sterling, remember, is quoted the other way around. Sterling falling against that stronger dollar down at 131 this morning. And we look at the euro, we see sterling is lower against the euro, so sterling lower still. Sterling against the Swiss franc falling to lower levels, and against the Aussie dollar falling away as well. So sterling weakness showing through there. Bitcoin it's sitting at 6,100, just really for the last few days just teetering along at this level, but is bearish really on all three time frames. Markets yesterday fell away at the close, so looked better at the open, but we just fell away quite sharply the last few hours, and we see the S&P sinking lower, and the Nasdaq 100 index was actually down quite significantly, down 1.4%, sinking lower at the close as well. So bearish on the short-term chart, still holding on the medium-term chart, but looking worrying. And if we look at the Dow, that's actually now a bit turned bearish on the medium-term chart. You can see here on the cloud, and also sinking lower, selling away yesterday as well. So US stock markets just really struggling after making that high at the start of the year, not managing to recover. And we're looking at the Russell 2000 index here, sank away quite heavily to make a new low, lower than we saw a few days ago. So actually we're seeing the sell-off now is very broadly based. Looking at the futures this morning, we're up very slightly on the S&P future. The Nasdaq E-mini also up very slightly, so hard to see which way the market will open. UK market is bearish below the cloud on the short-term chart. The 250, the mid-caps, is also bearish on the short-term chart with a downside target of 4%. The DAX also recovering a little bit on that weaker euro, but really not much. And we've got this downside target of 5% on the short-term chart hanging over us. And the CAC 40 in Paris also recovering a little bit this morning, but we see here we're just sinking away again. The Japanese market, weaker yen hasn't really helped here. We're down 0.3%. The Hang Seng down another third of a percent. And the Chinese market, which has been our main concern, down another 1%. So Chinese stocks now starting to make two-year lows, looking very worrying indeed. Looking at the Sensex, we see here we're lower as well, and against the Australian index falling away too. Looking at Brent crude, we see Brent is stronger this morning, up at $77. So we're really looking quite strong here, pushing for that $80 level again. WTI also looking stronger, starting to test that high that we saw a few weeks ago. So looking strong here. And the US nat gas price sitting at $2.97, did touch that $3 mark yesterday momentarily. Be interesting to see what we do on storage numbers today. Gold is lower based on that stronger dollar not helping, so gold price falling away there. And if we look at silver, we're seeing here also we're lower against the chart. US 10-year yield sitting at 2.84%, so just struggling to move any higher here, just finding support on the medium-term chart. And looking at tech, of course, tech sold off quite significantly. Apple was quite relatively strong, only down 0.14%, but we saw here Amazon down 1.8%, so that's significant. Didn't make a new low though. Google really sank about 1.3%, making new multi-week lows. So that is quite bad for Google. And looking at Facebook, having hit the $200 mark. We're now back at 195 and just looking a little bit weaker there on the short-term chart. And Microsoft, having breached the $100 mark, has come right back, was down 1.5%. So US tech looking quite vulnerable at the moment. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you.